So, this is day 2 on section 4.4, and we're going to again review on how to write equations when I give you a line that's parallel or perpendicular to the line that you want to write. So let's start by defining parallel lines. We need to know that parallel lines have the same slope. Whenever you hear the word parallel, you need to think same slope, same m values, okay? Whenever you hear the word perpendicular, perpendicular lines have opposite reciprocal slopes, okay? So once again, parallel lines, same slope. Perpendicular lines, opposite reciprocal slopes. That means you're going to change the sign and flip the fraction. So if you know that parallel lines have the same slope and perpendicular lines have opposite reciprocal slopes, you should be able to take the equation that they give you and find out your slope. Okay, just for funsies here, if I had y equals 2/3 x minus 5, I told you this is just an equation, and I told you your equation is parallel to this one. So what's your slope going to be? If your equation is parallel to that one, it's going to be 2/3. Your slope would be 2/3, because if it's parallel, you'd have the same exact m value, right? Now, what if I told you your equation is perpendicular to this guy right here? What would the perpendicular slope be? It would be -3/2. We need to know that. If you don't know that, this whole section is going to go out the window, right? Parallel slope is going to be, or parallel lines have the same exact slope. Perpendicular have a negative reciprocal slope, okay? Or opposite reciprocal slope. Okay, so let's take this knowledge and let's work through a practice problem. Here we go. Everybody jot this down. Number 1, write the slope-intercept form equation. Let me get some space here. Write the slope-intercept form equation for the line that passes through the point -4, 2 and is parallel to the equation y equals x plus 3. So we all know that we want the equation in y equals mx plus b form. That's what we want, y equals mx plus b. In order to write a slope-intercept form equation, what are the two things that we need? A slope and a y-intercept. If we knew the m and if we knew the b, we could write our equation in slope-intercept form. Okay, so do they give us a slope or do they give us a y-intercept? Indirectly, they give us a slope. Why is that? Because the word parallel means what? Same slope. So our slope is going to be the same slope as what we see on this one. And what is the slope right there? The slope is the number in front of x, which happens to be 1, right? So our slope is going to be the same exact slope as that one. Now sometimes this equation that they give you is not in slope-intercept form. It might be in standard form. So sometimes you need to modify this before you identify your slope. But anyways, because it's parallel, you know it's going to be the same exact slope. Now, we still need the b value. So what do we have here? We have an m of our equation, and we need the b of our equation. Okay? So what do they give us? They tell us that our line, our equation, is going to pass through the coordinate -4 for x and 2 for y. So I could take that x, that y, and this m, and plug it all into y equals mx plus b. Okay, I could plug it all into there. Or if I wanted to, I could use the point slope form, y minus y1 equals m parenthesis x minus x1. You could also use point slope. It's up to you. Whatever you feel more comfortable with, go for it. If you don't like point slope, then go ahead and stick to y equals mx plus b. So what are we going to do? We're going to plug in the y, which is 2, right in there. So you have a 2 right there. You have an equal sign. The m value we said is 1, so let's put the m right there of 1 times x. X happens to be -4, right? So let's plug in -4 right there. And then plus b. So you really have 2 equals -4 plus b. And then you solve for b by adding 4 and adding 4. And we have 6 equals b. Now that we know that b equals 6 and our m equals 1, now we could actually write our equation in slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. So what is our answer going to be? It's going to be y equals m, which is 1, you don't even have to put the 1 if you don't want to, x plus b plus 6. There's your y equals mx plus b equation of the line that's parallel to the one they gave us and passes through the point negative 4, 2. So if you guys are cool with that, that's great. Some of us might like point slope form. Should I do it in point slope form just for fun? I want to show you that this same point slope form will get us to this answer anyway. So like let's say you got your slope knowing that it's parallel, because parallel means same slope. Let's say you didn't have your b value. Then you could just take your slope and your point and plug it into this formula. So let me do this. And make some space right there. And let's plug in y minus y1 equals m parenthesis x minus x1. Notice that I left blank spots. So I could plug in my y value of 2. I get that from the coordinate negative 4, 2. My m value we said was 1 because it's parallel to the equation they gave us. And our x value is negative 4. And when you do this math, the minus minus changes to plus plus. All you have to do is change it to get y by itself. If you distribute 1, nothing changes. It's still x plus 4. And you still have the y minus 2 over here. And if you go plus 2 here, plus 2 over here, we're going to get the final equation y equals, the slope is 1. You could put 1, you don't have to, x plus 6. As you could see, it's the same exact equation as the one we had over here, just using y equals mx plus b. Same exact equation. Y equals 1x plus 6, y equals 1x plus 6. It's up to you whether you want to do the point slope form to get your answer, or just stick with y equals mx plus b to get your answer in y equals mx plus b form. Okay, let's try another one. So right here, we have same question, but the only difference, they want us to write an equation in slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. In order for us to do that, you need an m and you need a b. But they tell us that our line passes through this point, so we're going to be using this x and this y. But they say, and is perpendicular. It doesn't say parallel. It says perpendicular. Now, what does that tell you? What does perpendicular lines mean? Opposite, reciprocal. So that means you're going to change the m value and then flip it to get your m value. So this equation that they give you right here, all you're going to get from that equation is the slope that you see right there. And what are you going to do with that slope? You're going to change the sign and flip it to get your slope. So if the slope right here is 1/4, positive 1/4, what's your slope going to be? It's going to be negative 4 over 1, right? If you change it and flip it, it's going to be negative 4 over 1. And to make things easier, let's just say that negative 4 over 1 is just negative 4. So the m value is negative 4. See, you don't need this equation anymore. You could ignore it. You could cross it out. It's done. You already got the information you needed. You got the m value from this perpendicular line, which is an opposite reciprocal slope. Now we go back to finding b. How the heck do I find b? Well, I need to either use y equals mx plus b and plug in my x value, my y value, and my m value that I just found out. Or I could use point slope form using my slope and my point. It's totally up to you guys. So, Isaac, what do you say? Point slope or slope intercept? Doesn't matter which one you pick. Slope intercept. Okay, so you're saying y equals mx plus b. What am I going to put in place of the y? 3, right? 3 is y. Let's put a 3 right there. 3 equals, but instead of m, what am I going to write? Negative 4. And then times x, but instead of x, what am I going to write? Negative 2. And of course the plus b is plus b. That we're going to solve for b. Let's do the math. Let's multiply. What's negative 4 times negative 2?
Positive 8.
Right here. That's positive 8 plus b equals 3. We want to solve for b, so we're going to subtract 8 here, subtract 8 over here, and we're going to have b equals negative 5. So b equals negative 5. Ladies and gentlemen, we have the m, we have the b. All we need to do is write the equation. Y equals mx plus b. Yeah, it's a negative b. You see, it's not bad. they're indirectly giving you the slope. Now, not all of them are going to be this easy because, see, this one's pretty easy because they tell you that it's perpendicular to this, and you could clearly see the slope right here. Or if it's parallel, it's something that's an equation in slope-intercept form, you could already see the slope. Parallel means the same slope. Perpendicular means opposite reciprocal slope. But check this one out. Right here, they're saying same thing. Write the slope-intercept form equation of the line that passes through this point. Okay, so we know we have an x and a y value. X is -1, y is -4. And is parallel. We know that parallel means what? Parallel means same slope, okay? And we know that if we want to write it in slope-intercept form, we need the slope and we need a y-intercept. So our slope is going to be the same slope as the equation that they give us. Here's the equation they give us. Could I see the slope right there? No, that's in standard form, right? Standard form is ax plus by equals c. Notice when I said that there's no m involved, it's not ax plus my. There is no m. There is no slope. You cannot see the slope when it's in this form. The only time you could see slope is if it's in point slope form or slope intercept form. That's when you could see the m value. Y equals mx plus b. Or y minus y1 equals m parenthesis x minus x1. So you need it in one of those other forms. This standard form is not going to give us the slope that we need. Okay, so we're going to have to modify it. Let's get y by itself by subtracting 9x and subtracting 9x. Let's rewrite it. We have 3y equaling negative 9x plus 8. And then I'm going to divide everything by 3. And I will have my slope-intercept form equation. Y equals negative 9 divided by 3. That is negative 3 with an x. And of course we have a plus 8/3. But who cares about that b value being a fraction? Who cares, right? Because after all, the only thing that we want from this original equation is to identify the slope. And what is the slope of this equation? We modified it to this. What's the slope? What's the slope? M is -3, right? Y equals mx plus b. So m is -3. This blue boxed equation is the same thing as this one. I just changed the way it looks. I changed the form. I changed it from standard form to slope-intercept form. Now I could see the slope. Now, is my line that I'm writing over here, is my line parallel or perpendicular to this one? It says right here parallel, right? So what does parallel again mean? Same slope. So my slope is going to be the same slope as this one. My slope is going to be -3. How about my b value? I need to find my b value. Okay, I have my m, I need my b. What do? Plug it all into either point slope form or slope intercept form. Whatever you want. Let's go with slope intercept. It looks like everybody's really comfortable with y equals mx plus b. So we have y equals mx plus b. Instead of y, what am I going to write? The -4. So let's put -4 right there. Equals, instead of m, what am I going to write? -3 times x. What's x? X is up here, -1. Okay, so we have a -1. And then plus b is plus b, because we're going to solve for that plus b. So again, we're going to do some quick math here. -3 times -1, that's +3. We still have the plus b. We still have the equal sign and the -4. I need to get rid of that 3. What do? Subtract it. Subtract it. We do to one side, do to the other. So b equals, what's 4? -4, take away 3. -7. So we know our b value now, which you just said was -7. And now we have the information to write our slope-intercept form equation. Y equals mx plus b. There it is. Y equals mx plus b. It's not bad, huh? So we're going to practice this one more day with a different worksheet. Hopefully, if you haven't finished yesterday's worksheet, go back and finish yesterday's. But we have more practice with worksheet 4.4 WSPM today. And then we're moving on to the final section of the class before the final exam.